friends. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Cranberries. Interesting choice, right? Someone requested it of me, and I do as I am told. And the Great Wheel of Reactions has dubbed it time to do the Cranberries. Someone has given me both a blessing and a curse, which is I get 90s rock. I love 90s rock. 90s alt rock is like my favorite kind of music. I'm realizing my top 3 favorite bands, none of them are 90s alt rock. It doesn't matter. It's my favorite era of music because it's my childhood. But from what I can recall, this song's kind of a bummer. But it is a good song. I haven't heard it in a long time, man. I've never seen the video. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right video because I saw there were 2 of them and they seem to be like decidedly different lengths. I think I heard once that this music video might have gotten banned or maybe just had to be heavily edited. I don't think in America, maybe in the UK, but I don't know why. So I'm assuming the longer version's the official one, but I don't know. Like I said, I haven't listened to the song in years, and when I did listen to it, I never listened to it hard. It was just like a song that would play on the radio. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's this one. So I never super paid attention to I know what the song's about, but I never super paid attention to the lyrics. And this, well, we'll get into it when it starts. So yeah, Cranberries, Zombie. Let's go. Alright, well, sorry, I'm not laughing because of what we're seeing, I'm laughing because I was thinking like, do I go into what the song's really about? No, I'll go to what is it, you know, I'll see if it comes up, if it's obvious from the video, and then those are the first images, I'm like, well, okay. For those who don't know, Zombie is a protest song, it's an anti-war protest song, but specifically, oh god, let me be very, very clear about something. I didn't do great in history, and I'm a dirty American, so, like, apologies in advance if I really, really fuck this up. But from what I can recall, in the middle of the night right now, from half-remembered history class, is, history class, we didn't talk about the Cranberries in history class, but just stuff I read randomly in my life. This is an anti-war song and a protest song against, a lot of the stuff going on in the UK at the time, especially because the Cranberries are an Irish band. It believe was a response, at least partially. It was inspired by the IRA bombing in a town in England that starts with a W. Is it Warrington? I'm sorry, I forget. I think it was Warrington. I might be wrong. Apologies. And in this bombing, 2 children died. Horrific. And so this song is a lot about her, about the lead singer dealing with those feelings and also dealing with the fact that, like, she is Irish, the band is Irish, and very much wanting to set herself apart from the IRA and the people doing these things, which, like, I'm not going to get into the IRA and the whole history of a whole bunch of stuff in Ireland with, like, knowing to be under British rule and things with Protestants and Catholics and blah, 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 blah. It's too late at night. I'm too uneducated to deal with that, but that is what this song is protesting, and war in general. But, so that's why we're seeing the images of, like, the bombed out buildings and the children, especially, and people with guns and things like that. So, at least that's what the song's about, so I'm assuming that's where the video is gonna go with it. Could not be, but there you go. If you didn't know, if you've heard the song before, didn't know the history of it, that's the history of it. If there's other history to it that I didn't say that you know, by all means, tell me about it, because I'm really curious. And if I super messed up the history about it, I'm sorry. I don't research before I make these videos, I just kind of speak randomly, and hopefully don't get it extremely wrong, but if I do, I apologize. Oh, okay. That's some. When does the song come out? The bombing was in the early. I think the bombing was like 92 or 93. So this song would be like 94, 95, I think. I think it was like mid 90s, 94, 95. Yeah, that's that weird kind of mid 90s, mid to late 90s, just crazy imagery in music videos, man. They knew how to make something that sticks in your. I'm not gonna forget that image. That's crazy. I would assume with the children all around her, could be a reference to the children who passed away. Her being all gold and things like that, and she's in front of a cross, so I don't know how literal they're going, if it is truly just about the stuff with the IRA, if it's commenting on the Protestant versus Catholic thing, I wouldn't talk about it, but if you want to go for it, that's fine. Those are some crazy images. Look at that. And they're all praying like that. Are those nooses coming off the trees? That's some upsetting imagery. And it's weird because the tops of the trees, I don't know if this is purposeful, but they look almost like hands. It probably is on purpose. But also it's interesting because the way it's lit is like everything before. It's interesting, like everything in the bombed out city and stuff like that was all in black and white. It felt very real, and very gritty. Even where like the band was playing in a kind of broken down, like a bombed out building. Even though you have all these like instruments and that, it still feels very gritty. Whereas this, it doesn't feel like she's in another world. I don't know if this is on purpose, but it looks like specifically like a stage. It looks like you've got like the hay on the ground kind of a thing, and like the light being down on them, obviously like a spotlight, but then the kind of not having the trees be outside. It looks like you're in a stage. So we're not mentioning this is like a different world or something like that, I think is how it's meant to be. There's a, and I'm gonna fuck this up. There's a style of theater called Brechtian, I believe. Oh goodness, I should not talk without researching or like being able. I won't let myself look things up as I'm talking, which is very stupid, but it's just how I'm rolling. It's a Brechtian way of theater, which, if I recall, the basics of is without getting into like exact definitions, is basically a way of doing theater where you're not, when you watch a play, a lot of times you're meant to kind of suspend your disbelief and get yourself lost in the play and like make you believe you're actually in these places. A Brechtian kind of way of doing it is to be very clear with the audience of like you are watching a play, so you're always kind of aware of your where you are in time and space. You don't get lost in it's kind of, it's not fourth wall breaking, it's just always making you aware you're watching a piece of art. You're always aware you're watching actors. It's an interesting way of doing things. I think this is kind of what they're going for here. Maybe it's not, but that's what I think it is. You can see the little lights at the bottom. These look like two-dimensional. I think you're meant to know that you're watching a performance. I should have stopped before then because I had things to say, but that chorus is just too damn good. Don't know what to tell you. It is hard when you're like, this is a very serious song, and you're like, this chorus rocks. The whole this is not me, this is not my family. In your head we are fighting, I believe they're the lyrics. I never listened very, very hard to these lyrics. I'm sorry, I just kind of vibe to it. Is her stating like, I am Irish, but this is not me, this isn't my family, all these different things, like, I'm not fighting in this, which I guess in some ways is kind of, it's not, I don't know, it's hard to be in a place in a country which at the time, like, a chunk of it was fighting with everything. Must have been kind of difficult, because at the time I'm sure that there was this kind of vibe like, oh, you're in Ireland, like, it's like, no, there's different versions of Ireland. Yeah, I don't know what that's like. I mean, I guess I'm not getting into America right now, but anyway, that was what she was talking about, and I thought that the cutting between the little boys playing with the little sticks and everything, playing their little sword games, and then cutting to the people holding guns is an obvious thing of just like, when you're a kid playing around, but it's still weapons, and that whole thing of like innocence lost, blah, blah, blah. It's a common, it's nothing that hasn't been done before, but it's always still interesting, of sort of comparing like, oh, it's so cool and fun to play with swords until actual murder. I don't know why I just said that. It made sense in my head. Out loud, it sounded just kind of weird. But you know, there's a lot of just like, it's, I don't want to sound cynical. I wouldn't say it was, I think if this video came out now, it would feel a bit hashtag deep, but at the time, I don't think it is. Just the stuff of the kids with the swords. It's good, it's clever. It's sometimes, it takes me a minute, and it's something that everyone should strive to do when watching a film or watching a piece of art in any way, a video or whatever it may be, of a certain time period. It might take you a minute, but you always have to be like, well, hang on, put yourself in that time, of what it was like then. And I think it was definitely, I mean, this video really struck a chord with a lot of people. I know it got some big reactions, and this song obviously did as well. So, yeah, you know. I think I remember something about the video getting censored or banned, and I think it was because of some of those images. I think those must be like actual IRA like images, or I don't know if they're propaganda or whatever it may be. I think that's part of why it was censored. I could be wrong, but I think I remember that, which is interesting. Yeah, I forgot when she mentions the mother, obviously mother losing her child, but I forgot. I think this thing happened like really close to Mother's Day. God. Ugh. But now the little kids who had swords, now some of them have guns. So swords is in like sticks. I'm 5, so I've got like a little wooden sword somewhere. I've got a real sword up there too. But I point up because that's where I have boxes still packed up from when I moved here. In one of those boxes is a wooden sword, so I just always call them swords. But it's a big stick. But yeah, now we've got a kid with a rifle, so they're... Ugh. Yipers. I point them out in every Ren song that has one. This is bad, but that's a good doggo. Look at that good doggo. That doggo didn't do anything. That doggo's a good boy.
It's the same OG since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head?
I'm thinking I'm just sticking in her mouth. The kids all being around her, the kind of silver, the silver, looking like statues, the kind of cherub statues, and like all kind of protecting her with being on the cross. I don't know if that's a Virgin Mary thing or what, but we also have the background being red, but then those few shots we have of the band when they're not in the black and white space, they're in red and their background is blue. Is interesting. I don't know if the red is meant to be, I mean, blood's the obvious thing, but if like them, the band being red is like them part of the background there. Not necessarily me putting out a theory, I guess it's just me making an observation, but interesting observation. And the kids still are all smiling and like having fun, but they've got like legit weapons. That's an upsetting image. I was seeing that one shot of the little boy with his arrow out. There's just big eyes. Oh, goodness. There is something, as much as I was kind of being maybe a little flippant with the whole, like, yeah, I get it, like, the sticks are like guns. When the kids do have the actual guns, there is something just so, just gutturally upsetting about a child holding a gun. It just, even though, like, it's a music video, it is still in my brain. I'm like, stop. I just get anxious. I'm like, no, babies, stop. So circling that, so they are now, it looked like they were still on a, like, I don't know if they were surrounding the cross or if it was a different thing, but, I don't know if that's meant to represent the children who passed away, like, up like this and looking sort of sacrificial is really interesting. I always say it's really interesting, I'm sorry. I say that phrase too much. Hang on, are they... I guess not. I was gonna say, are they wearing crowns of thorns? Like, are we going for a full Jesus thing? But I guess it was more like, because they've got the cloth there. I think it was more like, it didn't like, I don't want to say flower crowns, but it looked something similar to that. I think they're going for more of a cherubic vibe than, oh, maybe. Toss up. We're gonna go with garland. Which is a cherub thing, I think. But I guess it's probably up for interpretation. I hope these children are cool. Like, you shouldn't get nervous when people are painted all over. Just, I know they're better about that. What was it? That old, was it a, like that old story, that old Hollywood story about, I think it was one of the girls in, Goldfinger in that, James Bond film. There was, like, rumors forever that, like, one of them got sick or died or something because of the paint. Which I don't think was true, but it was like a rumor forever in Hollywood. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Because of all that, like, there was like lead in the paint or some shit like that. I think it was not true. I'm saying all this and it's like either wasn't the right movie or was true and someone died. But I'm pretty sure no one did. It was just always like one of those weird sort of Hollywood rumors that would go around all the time. didn't mean to do that. You're a great song, but I didn't mean to do that. Well, you had social commentary and disturbing images. You had a 90s music video. That was very interesting. I definitely don't think I'll think about that song the same way again. That was a really interesting, at times, I think pretty effectively intense video. And they did it without going too extreme. They didn't need to do anything super insane. But it was a lot of just like using that cross-cutting, which is like when you cross-cutting in a film is like when you're cutting between two different things happening at the same time. You can kind of see like they're linked together. It's usually how it narratively flows. So like showing the kind of the army people crossing. I thought they were coming in to like shoot the kids, but they weren't. But it was just like having all these things happen at once, kept building and building and building, and then the kids on the ground. I think it really built up that sort of tension without having to do something over the top. And the kids all screaming, that was really creepy. But again, it's I think it's a video that will stick with you for sure, even if you don't remember all the details about, like, every single detail about the song. You'll remember, like, you'll remember her with the crazy, knot hair, and all the little kids around her and stuff like that, which is, art should stick with you like that. It's interesting, art should. So there you go. I deeply apologize if I got some facts wrong in this. Like I said, I don't research this stuff ahead of time. If you think I should, I will. Maybe I should for things like this. If you have, I know this wasn't my usual thing that I react to, but if you have anything you would like me to react to, especially if it's from the 90s, by all means, put it in the comments. This was my first protest song. I think, well, no, that's not true. I think half of Ren's songs are kind of protest songs. Yeah, I think that I think I've heard this song kind of described as kind of, maybe naive is the wrong word, but that sort of thing of just like, with the attitude toward a lot of stuff that was going on at the time, politically, or you know, with the IRA stuff. But it's like, I don't think the world is a worse place for having a song that's just like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like violence. It's not great. The world's never worse for a song like that. It's always, you know what? It's always a good thing to be like, hey, not a fan of bombing kids. No thanks, not me. It's always good. So there you go. There's me making my strong statement. I am anti that. Alright, so I am going to maybe go to sleep soon, probably not. Hey friends, it's Bedroom Jess, the Jess that lives in a bedroom. Isn't it amazing? And with no tripod. Here's your bonus content of the of the reaction. I was starting to edit it this is the next morning. And I realized, first of all, I sound very tired in it for the bits I saw. I do really like the video and the song. I feel like I sounded disinterested, but I did really like it. But I realized I never actually commented on the title of the song or, like, what I thought the whole zombie thing was. Which I guess I don't need to, but, like, it does seem like a silly thing not to comment on, so, I don't know if there is actually, like, a reason, like, if the, band has a reason for using the word zombie. I assume they do since it is so specific, but for me anyway, I just assumed that they were saying zombie, as either commenting on, like, talking just in generalizing soldiers isn't, like, doing what they're told, or if it's meant to be a comment on the IRA itself, because I think they drop, I should have listened to the song again before I did this. They drop a date in it. It was like this going on since it was 15 or 16, and I know that is the year that, like, there was a big revolt in Ireland. So it's the whole thing of just, like, all this time, and it's the Irish Civil War. It's been going on forever and all that stuff, and it's just like this zombie thing of continuing this war of the next generation just keeps going and going and going. I'm drooping this, I'm holding this with one hand. Sorry that the angle's drooping. Anyway, so that is what I think that zombie is referring to. And I felt like adding it. I was gonna add it in the comments of the video, but then I'm like, well, I'm editing it now. I could just record a little bit. And I could go all the way downstairs and record it in my spot, wearing my glasses, not in bed, with my tripod, but that's, like, really far. So, nah, this is good. This is what I'll give you. Those other reactors won't. You can see me in bed. Keep it classy here. Bye, friends.